and fellow ice cream makers. My name is Jill Arto, and as a proud ice cream maker and the chairman of this fantastic association, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you all here this evening to our annual club dinner and AGM. I am sure you will all agree when I say that we have been truly spoiled this evening by both wonderful food and invigorating company. The Sunday station has once again been a huge success, and I can vouch, after trying all 53 flavours on offer, that this association truly hosts some of the best ice cream makers in the world. It is a great honour to be joined by so many people here this evening. Whether you're an ice cream maker, a member of the board, or just an ice cream enthusiast, your support over the past few years and your attendance here this evening is what is helping our association continue to grow from strength to strength. With the hottest July day ever on record this week, it is not surprising to see that the ice cream industry has had a fantastic year. Not only for the industry, but also for us. Congratulations go out to Barry Metcalf, who has once again been awarded the United Kingdom's Most Creative Flavour Award for his new Christmas pudding flavour ice cream, and also to Betty Atkinson, who has managed to make a delicious range of gluten-free and diabetic ice creams, meaning that people with specialist dietary requirements can still enjoy fantastic ice creams. Great work, people. We're very fortunate this evening to be joined by guest speakers. Firstly, on my near left, we have Vinella,
Good evening.
the chairman of the Ice Cream Makers Benevolence Fund, who is here to talk about his involvement with ice cream. Secondly, on my far left, we have Nick O'Bocker Glory,
Good evening.
a member of the association who specialises in assisting the startup of ice cream businesses. And joining us tonight from the Clun Valley Ice Cream Farm, we have Maggie Nubb and Mervyn Pip. Now, I can see you all eager with anticipation, so without further delay, I'd like to hand over to Maggie Nubb, who will be introducing us to her business, Clun Valley Ice Cream Farm, talking about diversification and the joys of being a farmer's wife.
Thank you, Jill. In southwest Shropshire, born and raised, Inner Parlour is where I spent most of my days, chilling out, relaxing and acting all cool, pulling on some udders outside the school, when a couple of cows who were up to no good started making trouble in my neighbourhood. I got kicked by a cow and my mum got scared. She said, "You better go marry Gareth over there." We pulled up to the yard about 7 or 8, and I said to the tractor, "You're home, see you later." Looked in my parlour, I was finally there. We started making ice cream and I'll take it from there. So, here we are. I have a gorgeous Welsh husband, Gareth, 450 milking cows, and my own ice cream shop to boot. But it wasn't always this way. I'd like to share with you a few problems that you yourself might encounter if you decide to follow a path such as mine. Be prepared for your other half to go a little crazy at carving time from sleep deprivation. A few years into our marriage, I noticed Gareth was stood out in the field, not really doing anything. Gareth, what are you doing? Well, what with the milk prices being so rubbish, I thought I'd earn myself a few bob by winning one of them Nobel Prizes. Right, well, how are you going to do that? Well, I've been told they give them Nobel Prizes to people that are outstanding in their field. Needless to say, he did not win a Nobel Prize. One of the first things to go out the window will be vacations. Although, if you're willing to avoid the months of May, June, July, August, and any month with an R in it, you shouldn't find booking holidays a problem. At some point in your marriage, you'll be asked to sort the cows. I'll set the scene. What will happen is your husband will plonk you, quite vulnerably, in a gateway with a small plastic stick, and then hurl cattle at you at very high speed. You will then intuitively be supposed to know which cows are to go through the gateway and which ones are not. The black one does not mean the cow is black. It just means it has slightly more black on it than the other cows. The bull, let the bull through. It's a very helpful piece of information when you have heads coming towards you at high speed and can't see between their legs. But above all, you must remember that any foul language hurled at each other during this exercise must be immediately forgotten afterwards. In fact, it's a jolly good opportunity to to telling what a flaming idiot he is for assuming you're telepathic. You must pay strict attention to the weather forecast, as this is pretty much all you'll talk about, ever. That and the price of milk and corn are good topics to have if you want to get anything out of your husband other than a grunt. One of my top tips for avoiding early divorce is never, I repeat, never interrupt the country farm weather forecast. At some point in your marriage, you'll be asked to make some children. Unfortunately, it will already be ingrained in your husband that your pregnancy is identical to that of a cow's. Phrases like, ooh, she's bagging up nicely. But perhaps the most worrying part of it all is when it comes to the birth itself. I could just about cope when he asked the midwife to pop the head and pull on the legs. But when he burst through the door with a carving jack, enough really was enough. Once you've served your purpose at popping out male air, you can expect bedroom activities to, well, vanish. A little perturbed by this, I once made a clever comparison by pointing out the bull didn't seem to have any problem doing his duty 3 times a week. Gareth took a long, vacant look at me and said, yes, sir, but he doesn't have to do it with the same old cow every day, does he? I had reached the end of my tether. Being a farmer's wife and all the joys that went with it just wasn't enough for me. I'd about packed my bags when Gareth suggested we diversify together. So, with nothing to lose, I gave it a shot. And we set up an ice cream shop on the farm. It was a real hit. Clan Valley ice cream was being sold for miles around, renowned for its weird and wonderful flavours. Pistachio, passion fruit, coffee, biscotti, and what's more, with me finally finding my forte on the farm, our marriage is blooming. Just last week, Gareth popped in to see how I was getting along. I was thrilled to share with him our flavour of the year, chili. He smiled, patted me on the head and said, oh, sweetie, I'd have thought you had learnt by now that all ice creams are supposed to be chili. Well, of course, Gareth is right. So we've rebranded. Ladies and gentlemen, if you'd all be upstanding and raise your glasses to Fiery Chicken Vindaloo, this year's hot flavour.
This year's hot flavour. Maggie. Now, I'm sure everyone will agree as to what an entertaining speech that was, and I'm sure, like many other people in this room, you really struck a chord with me. Working on a farm, living on a farm is, well, something that we've all dealt with, but learning that the Countryfowl weather forecast is one of the highlights of the week is something that is instilled at birth. Next, I would like to welcome to the floor Vin Ella from the Ice Cream Makers Benevolence Association, who will be talking about his involvement with the ice cream industry.
Good evening. My, that was a frosty reception. Thank you for that kind introduction. As you've heard, my name is Vin Ella, and I am the current chairman of the Ice Cream Makers Association's Benevolent Fund. It's important that ice cream makers have this insurance as well as everyone else, and I'd like to thank Ben and Jerry for my help over this last year. We've had quite a few cases that we've had to look into, most notably that ice cream van driver that we found just the other week. I'm sure you all heard about him. Found dead, unfortunately, in his ice cream van, covered in hundreds of thousands in chocolate sauce. Police thought he'd topped himself. I'm also the CEO of Yorkshire Dales Ice Cream, founded in 1953 by my father, Mario Ella, but known to us as Pop Ella. He came over as a prisoner of war in the 1940s and set up home in Yorkshire, started the company, which has gone from strength to strength. Pop's legacy was to set off and give people cheap ice cream that was good quality, and we've taken this a little further. Now we charge almost £3 for a 99. It wasn't all plain sailing for Pop. In his early days with his first ice cream van, He was in fact involved in an accident. It was very sad, and luckily he survived it all fine, but eyewitnesses said the police were amazing. So they were there like a rocket, did a fab job and had the area coned off in no time. We've moved on at Yorkshire Dales, and we're mainly looking now to help our dairy farmers, as it's obviously milk that makes ice cream, and we feel that to make the best ice cream, you need the best milk. Therefore, we've been looking at getting Jersey cows mostly, and some older, more traditional type Friesians, getting a lot higher fat content milk, using this to get our ice cream that little bit better. We've been running schemes with our farmers, similar to the Wiseman Sainsbury's, where we pay them a little more and then get a little bit better product, and we work with the farmer to ensure that their cow health and such things are better, so that we feel a little better and we feel like we're helping our farmers to make a sustainable future for us and for them. After all, better milk is better ice cream, and I feel the future of the Yorkshire Dales ice cream is going to go from strength to strength. The Benevolence Fund, as you all know, is there to help all of you, and a little of your membership each year goes into it. We also have a prize draw once a year, which I know you've all been buying tickets eagerly for, and it's my absolute pleasure to announce this year's winners. I'll just remind you of all of the prizes, I know you all know. First prize was, of course, a brand new ice cream van, though I hope you will eat it quickly as it is going to melt. Second was a solid silver ice cream scoop, and not just an ice cream scoop. This is a Raptor 4000 with twin carbon cutting blades and an ergonomic, well-designed shaped handle. You are going to throw 99s out like John Wayne. And the winner of the second prize today is table number 180. 118? That must be in the car park. Anyway, it's Will Power. So well done, Will. You've won the Raptor 4000. I'm sure you'll be very happy with it. And the first prize is going to table number 2. It's Pete Boggs. Well done, Pete. And yet again, both winners are committee members. Fancy that. And now to our guests, and thank you both for coming. It is a delight to have you. Plum Valley ice cream sounds amazing. Maggie, your speech was absolutely brilliant, and that rap was quite something. We've heard of your skills in the rap, and really was good to hear. The sound of the cattle sorting and such sounds very similar to up our end. However, a woman actually getting involved in the farm and sticking it without taking the swear words seriously is good to hear. But I am sure that if you lived in Cumbria, the bedroom activity stopping would have made you move on. And I'm sure Gareth over there is very lucky you haven't had an affair. We had a fellow walk into one of our ice cream parlours just last week. Sadly, one of the lasses who works in our shop over in Rochdale there. She's been a bit down, had a bit of flu, but obviously we can't get rid of her because of all these new rules. And so we just left her, kept going, and the lad said, "What flavour ice creams have you got, love?" She said, "Vanilla, strawberry and chocolate." And very croaky for her. And the lad said, "Oh, have you got laryngitis?" She said, "No, just vanilla, strawberry and chocolate." I'd like to leave you with a parting thought. It was that 70% of women said that ice cream left them feeling happy, de-stressed, and a real warm, glowing, glorious feeling. And when surveyed about the opposite, 70% of men said that the food that made them feel really down, low, stressed, anxious was wedding cake. So thank you, and thank you both for coming again. And I look forward to Morven Pick speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Vin. It's always important to hear what you're doing over at the Benevolence Association, as we really do believe that the support you give to our members is crucial. And also hearing that you're working towards a sustainable future, paying your farmers that little bit extra, is again, it's something that we really want to encourage. It helps the farmers in the industry, and it overall helps the industry to succeed. I would now like to call upon Nick O'Bother-Glory to reply to our guest on behalf of the Association of Ice Cream Makers.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, fellow guests, members of the Society, and I'd like to welcome you all here, and I hope you've had a wonderful evening. Just for our start, I'd like to thank the hotel for the food. It was absolutely amazing. The service was brilliant. Thank the guests for coming. All the hard work that's gone in from the staff here and the staff at the Society organising this incredible dinner dance, and I'm sure you've all enjoyed it. I'd just like to thank them. Now I'll do a slight introduction about myself for those of you that don't know me. I'm Nick O'Boka Glory. I'm a farmer and ice cream maker from Cumbria. Now you might think that's a difficult job in Cumbria because the sun very rarely shines, but people are quite often down about that, so they decide to go and get an ice cream. Started off as a small-time dairy farmer milking 50 cows. It very rapidly became very hard to make a living from milking just 50 cows, so I had to diversify and started off with a small caravan site. I then moved on to try and make more money out of the people that come to my caravan site from opening up a small shop and selling ice cream out of tubs that I bought. I then thought, well, I've got some cows, I've got the people here, I'll make my own ice cream. So I set up trying to make my own ice cream. I found it very difficult to do at the start. There was a lot of regulations and rules that I didn't really know a lot about, and I didn't get an awful lot of help. And that's what my role in this society is here to do, to help people set up and do what I've already done, share my experiences and help them. And anyway, I set up my ice cream parlour, finally got going, and an old man walks in and he shuffled his way to the front, got to a stool really slowly and painfully, and he took a minute to get his breath, and he said to the waitress, "Can I have a banana split, please?" She says, "Yeah, certainly. Crushed nuts?" He said, No, arthritis." Now, all jokes aside, the Society and myself are here to help people like Maggie Nunn to set up their ice cream parlour and help them. I'm not sure I can help with the sorting cows and the marriage problems, but I'm sure I can help with ice cream. And we're looking to do our best, and we've gone into a little bit of research, and my friend here, he set out doing the research, and he set out asking children whether they preferred vanilla or strawberry ice cream. Now 99% of them replied with, "Where are my parents?" Anyway, the finances of the Society are looking rather unhealthy at the minute. Although at the start of the year they were looking rather healthy, but unfortunately there was a robbery and they took hundreds and thousands from us. Now, it's the likes of Clan Valley Ice Cream that we would like to help with our society, and I'm sure we can have a slight discussion afterwards of the problems you had with your ice cream parlour rather than the actual agricultural side of it, because that we can help with, and we would like to move the industry forward and help a lot more people set up at grassroots level and really get ice cream out there to people. Although the weather in this country is very difficult to deal with, it's been very cold up till now, but now this hot weather's here, we have to make the absolute most of it and set up as many ice cream parlours in small time on dairy farms to get people into the farmyard to see where it comes from at grassroots level and really build up from there. And I was very interested to hear all the different flavours that you've introduced. I think that's brilliant moving forward with the industry. Personally, not so sure about the chili ice cream, but I'll definitely give it a go. So I'd just like to finish with the members of the committee standing up to toast to the visitors. To the visitors.
Thank you, Nick. It's excellent to hear the work that you're doing. Obviously, when people want to go into diversification and go from taking a farm and make it into a successful business, it is hard work. There is a lot of regulation, a lot of red tape surrounding it. To hear that you're working with our association and the members within it to help them get through that and to succeed, make a successful business, something that we're really proud of, and we'd like to thank you for all your hard work. May I now ask Mervyn Pick, as to address the room. As the esteemed guest, you have the final word from our panel this evening.
Good evening, and thank you for that lovely introduction, Jill. I'd like to say thank you on behalf for inviting us here this evening. It's truly been wonderful to be at the annual dinner. For ice cream fanatics, this is as good as it gets. getting the scoop on this year's news and current events, and to finish the dinner with a boat to Alaska was a terrific idea. I greatly enjoyed all your speeches, particularly you, Vin. I've got some hints maybe at the end of the dinner to talk about maybe some diversity. As Jill said, my name is Moden Pick, and I work as a marketing executive at Clun Valley Ice Cream. It's my job to keep on top of trends, create new flavours, and of course, a weekly tasting session. Although based in a small Shropshire town, my job allows to travel worldwide. My favourite trip this year was to Japan. You may not know this, but Häagen-Dazs in Japan are the world leaders in innovative flavours for ice cream. The Japanese have seen an increase in savoury and vegetable-based ice creams, and I was very excited to try some. Although I cannot say the sushi-based ice cream was particularly very nice. However, it did make me so happy to go to the Häagen-Dazs HQ. My experiences in Japan led me to go back to Clun and think of some new flavours for us to sell. At Clun Valley Farm, we pride ourselves on natural, authentic flavours, from the cow's tub to the ice cream tub. Choosing the season's new flavour is relatively simple, but getting the cows to eat the primary product can be a rocky road. To get the flavours fully integrated in our ice cream, we start the process with the cow's fodder. We encourage our girls to try new flavours in their fodder, but they usually turn the other cheek. Chili-based ice cream was one of my worst ideas. Although cows have 4 stomachs, it did not help them process the spice any better. Let's just say the mess was unbelievable, but there's no point crying over spilt milk. Although we try to make our flavours as imaginative and adventurous as possible, in Shropshire, our most popular flavour is our caffeine-free, coffee-flavoured ice cream, which for us as a business is great, as it's the easiest to implement. All that is required is a recently decaffeinated cow, and voila, ice cream. At Clun Valley, we're always looking for more ways to branch out and get national recognition for our ice creams. Being here tonight at the annual association dinner has presented many opportunities to do just this. As we expand, which we foresee will happen, we probably will need to get a benevolent fund sorted for our farmers. Coming back to you, Vin, I noticed that you don't really have much favour for women working on the farm. However, at Clun Valley Ice Cream, we are all women working our farm. Maybe I could teach you about some diversity and what feminism is and equality. Let's move on quickly. Thank you once again for inviting Mag and myself here tonight. We've had a fantastic time, and I'm looking forward to finding out more about your farm and teaching you a few lessons in over the dance floor. Ice cream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream.
It's an honour to hear from you, hearing a bit more about your role as the marketing executive, your travels, how you do weekly taste testings. I mean, the decaffeinated coffee ice cream sounds incredible, and I'm looking forward to coming down and trying that out. And if you can do a bit of work with Vin on diversity and letting women into the workplace, that would be fantastic. Sadly, ladies and gentlemen, that brings tonight's proceedings to a close. May I take this opportunity to thank everyone, Vin, Nick, Maggie and Moden, for coming down tonight and all the hard work they've done, and also the time that they've spent in preparation for this evening. I'm sure you'll all agree when I say that it's been a fantastic display of pure wit and intellect. Lastly, I would like to thank you for all the hard work over the past years. The success of this association is dependent upon the members within it, and it is an honour to continue to watch the association grow and develop due to the heart and determination of everyone here in this room. A final reminder of the upcoming Club Summer Social, which will be held at Whittington Hall, courtesy of Lord and Lady Ray, on the upcoming August bank holiday. There will be a host of activities, including tasting sessions, pin the flake on the cone, and of course, the annual ice cream cocktail making competition. For more information or to book your place, contact Annie Jackson. All that remains for me to do is to wish you all the very best for the remainder of 2015 and the remainder of tonight's festivities. Thank you and good night.